Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom. Glad you made it. We was on late. I was on time. I logged on time. Good morning everyone. Good morning. It's a nice day. This squirrel came, started yelling like I'm in his territory. Like, don't you raise your voice at me. They borderline sound like they cussing you out, these squirrels. And they'll raise their voice and they'll come up and pound on the tree trunk. Like, get out of here. It's probably racist. But he's still doing it, looking at me. So, how are you guys doing? Shalom. You guys doing all right? Pretty good. We did some Zooms. It was a major blessing. Had some good dialogue. It was a blessing. Definitely thank the Almighty for the Zoom calls. That way people could not only watch the service, but get an opportunity to talk to the brothers and sisters at Tribes United. While I get ready, we do Zooms Sabbath night, service Sabbath day. You can reach us at 619-501-1375. We have Messenger, and that is our number stateside too. So regardless, if you need a WhatsApp, Messenger, Zooms, however you want to do it, to fellowship, we are available. It's all my good times. Sometimes we open the books, sometimes we talk about other stuff. It's a major blessing. So, praise the Almighty. Today's going to be a shorter service. How much time we got? I want to jump into the news and get caught up, but I was thinking about talking about I'm gonna be dealing with. I actually want to make a playlist for this one too. So Whitney will make a playlist. You know, like the Sower went out to sow, so I'm gonna be dealing with that. But this time it'll be cool because I'm gonna break everything down into days. So it'll be like a 4-part mini service, and then I could get the news in as well. So hopefully you guys had a good week. Almighty's giving us another week. Got a couple more minutes, then we'll get started. Almighty giving us another week, whether employment, whether things to overcome, whether using wisdom, whether learning, reading, praying, meeting people. Definitely thank the Almighty. He gave us another week with our children, with our loved ones. Some people, you're not going to be able to see their children no more, or their wife or their husband. Some people didn't make it, you know, but the Almighty allowed us to still get another week with our loved ones, you know, because they belong to Him, and at any time He decides, you know. So thank the Almighty for that. Shalom, David, Davin. Oh, there we go, Davin. I appreciate you. You're back. Heard you were down south for a little bit. Praise the Almighty. So definitely thank the Almighty for that, for last night and whatnot. We got to try to get you on some Zooms, Davin. So praise the Almighty. So I think that's time. Welcome to True Hebrews United, the Almighty Yeshua. It's your beloved holiness instructor, discipleship drill sergeant, about to get into the book as usual. Minister Simon, Teacher Simon on the mic once again. Definitely give all honor to the Almighty, the author and finisher of our faith, the one that created us from the beginning and called us to salvation, the one that dictates where we spend eternity. Give all honor to Him through His Son, Yeshua Mashiach. Definitely double honor to the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, the elders, the bishops, the deacons across the whole planet, teaching this word, persuading people to repent from their sin and get ready for persecution before it's everlasting too late. Definitely shalom, Fabian. Definitely a shout out to all the brothers and sisters across the whole planet keeping the Almighty's commandments, statutes, judgments, precepts, and ways. All the people on the Facebook and YouTube that like, share, subscribe, emoji. I appreciate you guys. Please jump on the YouTube, put some likes on some videos, subscribe and whatnot. Let's get that algorithm going. So, I'm going to break this down. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a little 4-part. But today, like I said, I do got to deal with the news. So, we'll hit a little bit, a short service, and then we'll get into the news. So with all that said and being done, let's let the fingers do the walking and the scriptures do the talking. Give me Luke chapter 8. Luke chapter 8. Praise the Almighty. Luke chapter 8. And we're going to start at verse 1. Well, let me get the text up here. So these people doing the frisbee golf, and then when I said let the fingers do the walking and whatnot, they looked, turned around and whatnot. It's funny. At first, I really didn't like people coming around because I didn't want distractions. But I thought about it. I'm like, this might be the only gospel they hear for the next year. This may be the only truth they hear for the next year or two. So even if it's a little bit while they play frisbee golf, hopefully it's a little bit to say, you know what, I need to start going back and seeking the Almighty. Maybe I need to start opening up my Bible and whatnot. So Luke chapter 8 verse 1. Let's get it. It's windy now. Luke chapter 8 verse 1. And it came to pass afterwards that he went out through the city and the village, preaching and shewing the glad tidings of the kingdom of the Most High. And there were 12 with him, and a certain woman that had been healed of evil spirits, infirmities, Mary called Magdalene, out of whom went 7 devils, and Joanna, the wife of Joseph, Herod's steward, and Susanna, and many others ministered unto him from out of their substance. And when much people were gathered together, they were come unto him out of every city. So much people came to Amashiach, right? And he spake a parable. A sower went out to sow, and some fell on the wayside, and some were trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured them. Some fell on the rocky ground, and as soon as it sprung up, it withered away, because it lacked no moisture. Some fell on the thorny grounds, and the thorns sprang up with it and choked it. And some fell on the good ground and sprang up and bare fruit 100. And when he had said these things, he cried, he says, he that have an ear, let him hear. So I want to key on the wayside, the rocky ground, the thorny ground, and the good ground. We're going to deal with the wayside today, and it's going to be a 4-part series because everyone teaches on this, but I'm going to break it down each part individual. So praise the Almighty. Now, let's get with this. And the disciples asked him, saying, what might this parable be? And he said, unto you is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of the Almighty, but to the other parables, seeing they may not see, and hearing they may not understand. Now the parable, so he says, I didn't give it to them, I'm giving it to you though. Verse 11, now the parable is this, that the seed of the word of the Almighty, those by the wayside are these they hear, and cometh the devil and taketh away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved. So the devil comes immediately, right? And they are on the rocky ground, which they hear, receive the word with joy, and have root, and which were believed, and in the time of temptation fall away. And they which fell among the thorns are they which heard the word, and go forth, are choked out with the cares of the riches and the pleasures in this life, and bring no fruit to perfection. But they on the good ground are they which, out of honest and good heart, having heard the word, and keep it, and bring forth fruit with patience. No man, when he hath lighted the candle, covereth in the vessel, and putteth it under the bed, but setteth it under candlestick, and they which enter may see. So we'll stop right there at verse 15. So I'm dealing with the wayside right now. Verse 12. Those by the wayside are they that hear, and then cometh the devil and taketh away the word out of their hearts, lest they should be saved. Now go ahead and give me Psalms chapter 14. Psalms 14. Psalms 14. We're going to start at verse 1. Psalms 14, verse 1. It says, the fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works, and they have there is none that doeth good. The fool. We know people, oh, there's no such thing as God. These atheist people, oh, there's no God. They say in their heart, and because you'll notice that when it right here it says that they're corrupt, you'll notice that the people that don't believe in God, their morality is based off of what they feel. If they feel it's okay to murder or molest little kids, they do it. If they feel it's okay to lie, if they feel it's okay to commit adultery, if they feel it's okay to do extortion, if they feel it's okay to rob a bank, because they don't believe in a God. Because for a person to believe in a creator, that means there's order. For you to create a vehicle, the carburetor, the batteries, everything, the pistons, everything has an order. Everything goes in a place. Everything operates. The brakes, the tires, everything has a purpose. The steering wheel, everything has an order and a purpose when you created a vehicle, right? So there's an order in their structure. You can't just plug anything where you want. This fuse with that and that. It doesn't work that way. So when you acknowledge that there's a creator, then you have to acknowledge that there's an order. And if there's a creator, like you create your children, right? You give them laws in your house and give them structure and give them order. So for them to acknowledge their creator, then there has to be order. And then that defines also what is right and wrong, because he created you. You can't use your car to fly off a cliff and think that the car is going to fly in the air. It's not an airplane. That's out of order. It's out of structure. It's not designed for that. If he designed us, then he designed us for a reason, and he designed us for a purpose. And we have to use our bodies for the correct purpose. So go ahead and give me Job chapter 21. Job 21. I'm going to start at verse 12. Now, some of these people do change, because this kind of ties into outreach as well. I'm going to tie that in at the end. Some of these people do change, where there are people that do not believe in a creator or a higher power. They may not know the scriptures or know the truth. Shalom, Janisi. They may not know the truth and whatnot, but it's possible very few of them do change, and they do believe in the creator, and some of them come to truth, right? They may not believe in the Bible, but then they'll at least believe that there is a designer, a higher power, a creator. So Job chapter 21 verse 12. Let's get it. They take the tremble in their heart, and they rejoice at the sound of the organ. So they like music, right? They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment they go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto God, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of their ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? Or what profit it that we have if we pray unto him? And you'll notice these people with a lot of money, they tend to be the strongest atheists. Because it says, I got everything I need. If I want a yacht, if I want a car, if I want this, I make stuff happen. Money talks. What purpose is for me to serve the Almighty? All my needs are met because money is their God. These people fall by the wayside. You'll come to someone. It says, I thank thee that I hid this from the wise and the prudent. People that's wise in their own eyes. He didn't go. He went to the poor and to the humble and to the meek. He didn't go to a lot of rich people. When he did go to a rich person, he wanted to be saved. He said, sell all that you have, pick up your cross and follow me. And he went away with sorrowful, for he had many possessions. And he says it's harder for a rich man to enter into the kingdom, a camel to go through the eye of the needle, than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So he didn't go to a lot of rich people, because they say this right here, verse 15. What is the Almighty that I should serve him? Or what profit should we have if we pray unto him? These rich people, they don't want to hear nothing. You come to them and say, hey, has anyone told you about the Almighty? About Yeshua Mashiach that died for your sins and rose again on the third day? No. Why do I need to serve the Almighty? I got everything I need. I got a car, I got a Ferrari, I got this, I got this. What will it profit me if I serve the Almighty? That's for poor people. That's for people that maybe need him. It doesn't profit me. I'm going to live the rest of my life in riches, and then I'll just die, just like the poor person. What does it profit me? They say this. They believe this. This is why it's difficult for rich people to not be on the wayside. The word comes, they dispose of it, right? Let's keep going. So, this is some of the stuff they'll say. And I'm going to tie this all into outreach. These people by the wayside. If there was a God, they'll say, well, if there was a God, then why didn't my grandma die? Or if there's a God, why is there so much killing? Or if there's a God, why does this happen? Or why does that happen? Those are one of the arguments why when truth comes, they're on the wayside and they don't want to receive it. And you explain to them, and this could be outreach tools and whatnot, the Almighty has given us free will. So just like you have the will to play video games or go to work or get a second job or do this, there's people that have the free will to be a pedophile, free will to murder or to steal or to kill. He didn't take away our free will. And because people's heart is wicked and people choose the worst rather than the better, they choose the easy wrong versus the hard right. This is why wickedness is in the world. It has nothing to do with the Almighty. You could have 2 children and you raise up your 2 children right, and they still fight each other. They'll still bite each other. They'll still hit each other. They'll still take each other's toys. You taught both of your, even if they were twins, you could teach both of the twins the right way to do and give them structure and give them order, and they're still going to fight. Give me that. I had it first. No, I had it first. All this, and they bite and they hit and they punch or whatever. They still have free will. Even though you give them instructions, they still have free will to do what they want. And so when they'll use that argument to justify why they do not need to believe in a higher power. I'll say that because, you know, we know that there's one Almighty, Yeshua Mashiach. We know this, but dealing with the world, I deal with them like there's a creator of all things. Now, do you want to know that creator? It's in the Holy Scriptures, in the Bible. The name of him is in the Bible. Who he is and what he did for us is in the Bible, right? So, another one that statement they'll use, they'll be like, oh, well, religion is for weak-minded people because they need something to believe in to give them hope so they can live their life. Or I don't need to believe in this mythical person of this God in the air. I don't need to do that. I have science. I have technology. They say statements like that. You try to share with them about the word. They're like, no, I'm not a religious person. They don't want to hear about religion. They don't want nothing to do about religion. And they'll use these arguments to justify that. So, okay, cool. Davin, all right. Friend requests, I got you. I can't accept any while I'm doing the live streaming. So, another one, it says, prove to me. They'll come to you and prove to me that there's a God. Man, if there's a God, then prove to me. I say, hey, I have no problem of saying my stuff is faith-based. I have faith that there's a creator. I don't need to prove anything, because if I could prove it, then it wouldn't be faith. If I could prove to you, if I say, hey, I'm not going to show you, but you need to believe if I let this go, this is going to drop to the ground. Just believe me. Even if they never seen anything drop to the ground, but they have faith in the Almighty that he could do everything and resurrect us from the dead, even though they've never seen it before, that is called faith. You know, that is called faith, right? But then if I dropped it and it fell to the ground, what do you need faith? It's already been proven. So it says the just shall walk by faith and not by sight. When Thomas says, prove to me that he resurrected when Mashiach died, it says, unless I see his prints in his hands and the pierce in his ribs, I'm not going to believe in. When Mashiach came on the scene, it says, feel my hands, feel my ribs. It says, blessed is he that believeth and seeth, but more blessed is those that believeth and have not seen. So the greater blessing is the people that believe on faith versus the belief that is proven. I believe he healed people. I've never seen Mashiach killed anyone, but I have faith that he did. And that's where faith comes in. So when they ask me, prove to me that there's a God, then I say, hey, my thing is by faith, but I could prove to you about them coming across the Red Sea, and I could prove to you that there was a huge ship on Mount Ararat in Noah, in the days of Noah, and sure enough, in that there's a huge wooden structure made out of gopher wood, just like in the Bible, and they found hay and petrified dung, animal dung, on that mountain, on a huge mountain called Mount Ararat, the same mountain that's mentioned in the Bible. We could prove that. When they go to what they believe Sodom and Gomorrah, they find sulfur. It's like asteroids came down and all these sulfur rocks, and you could go to those cities and find little things of sulfur around. If you go to Mount Horeb, if you look up Mount Horeb, even on Google, you'll see this huge black. And scientists can't explain why it's black, but it says he spoke to Israel in a fiery pillar, and he gave the 10 Commandments, a huge pillar of fire, and he spoke to millions of Israelites in the wilderness during time of Moses. And scientists can't explain how that top of that mountain is black to this day. There's a huge rock that's split in half in the same location that we read about in Moses, and you see that scientists say you see that it looked like water flowed out of that rock at one point. So they want proof, but to prove the Creator, I walk by faith. If I had proof, it would not be faith no more. So let's keep going. Another one that they'll say, there's so many religions out there. There's so many religions. No, I'm not religious. How do you know whose religion is the right religion? You got Buddha, you got this, you got Quran and Nation of Islam, you got the Bible, and with the Bible you got Christian, Methodist, Episcopalians, you got the Mennonites, Apostolic, Latter-day Saints, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witness, Baptist, Mormon, Pentecostal. How do you know who's telling the truth? And they'll use all these reasons on why not to seek truth. They'll use all these reasons on why not to seek truth. Do we use those reasons to get a job? There's so many jobs out there. What job to get? We'll go pick one and see if you like it, and not see if that, and do that, and see your career. There's so many careers out there. You could be an engineer, you could be a scientist, you could be this. Do you just not get a job? So you're just not going to seek truth simply because there's so many religions, and even in that religion, there's, like, let's say Muslims. There's the Sunni and the Shia. Or, the Nation of Islam and all this stuff, right? Or Buddha, there's different types of Buddha. Or there's different types of, there's another one that people do in India or whatnot. But even in people that believe in the Bible, Catholics and all this. Oh, so which one? You start to study. Start your journey in seeking the Almighty. So you tell these people, it says yes, but you should be seeking truth. You don't just not seek truth at all. How do I know what religion? How do I know your belief is the right one and that's not the? Well, you study. You got to start somewhere. These people by the wayside will find any excuse not to come to truth. This is why he says they're the wayside. The devil comes right away. Oh, how do you know that guy Simon's telling you the truth? There's a whole bunch of people that believe in the Bible, and they don't talk about keeping the Sabbath. And he's talking about not celebrating Christmas, and all these other people celebrate. And they're going to put these seeds of doubt, and Satan comes right away. I got money. What do I need the Almighty for? It doesn't profit me to have the Almighty. I could buy a yacht. I'm a millionaire. I'm a billionaire. What do I need the Almighty for? Whatever excuse they use to be on the wayside, to not come to truth. So, let's get some shout-outs going. Shout-outs. We almost done, by the way, because I do need to do the news today. So, be a shorter service. Cool. Davin, Gia, Karen, Tova, Ahaya, Will, Occupate, Ta, Nice, XZ, Tiana Brown, Kamari, Ariel, Nava, Kasheth, Zadek, Vinny, Kovesh. So, alright. Praise Almighty. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I do want you guys to be saved. Please find a congregation. Oh, I forgot to deal with that congregation. We'll do that then and then. Because every single service, I use one scripture to show you why you need a congregation and why you need a minister. So, now they've got the shout-outs. Now, give me Matthew chapter 13. Matthew chapter 13. Oh, Shalom. I think I seen a new name on, I think it was Howard or whatnot. Matthew chapter 13. We'll start at verse 1. Matthew chapter 13, verse 1. The same day went Yeshua out of the house, and he sat by the seaside, and a great multitude gathered unto them. Keep in mind, I want one of you guys to go ahead, Vince, put great multitude. Someone put great multitude, right? Together unto him, so that he went into the ship, and he sat, and the whole multitude stood offshore. And he spake many things unto him in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went out to sow. And when he had sowed, some of the seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them. And some fell by the stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung out, because they had no deepness in the earth. So he's telling the same parable, right? And when the sun was sprung up, or scorched, because they had no root, they withered away. He's giving a little bit more detail on this. And some fell on the thorns and sprung up and choked them. But other fell on good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. He that having ear, let him hear. So remember, we got the wayside, we got the rocky ground, we got the thorny ground, we got the good ground, and we're dealing with the wayside today. Now check this out, right? Because it says the multitude, great multitude. And his disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? And he answered and said unto him, because I have given them unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So you're like, why didn't he give it? Because he came to seek that which was lost. He came to save souls. He came to preach the kingdom of the Almighty. Isn't his job, Yeshua's job, when he came down, to save souls, right? But let's keep going. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, for him shall be taken away even that he have. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, saying, by hearing you shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see and shall not perceive. The people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes are closed, lest at any time they should see with their ears and see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and she be converted, and I shall heal them. So he says, I have blinded these people so they could go to hell, because they choose not to seek the truth. I have made sure that I spoke to them in parables, so they could not understand what I'm talking about, just so they cannot be healed. Verse the next scripture. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. So he says, the prophecy of Isaiah. Now, if you read the book of Isaiah, he went plenty of times, and he preached in the morning, and no one believed him. So he said, Lord, who have believed our report? To whom have the arm of the Almighty been revealed? And so the Almighty prophesied and gave to Isaiah, said, guess what? Don't even worry about it, Isaiah. I'm going to blind them. I'm going to put them into a place to where they just cannot be saved. Now, when we put great multitude, a great multitude followed them. But out of this great multitude, he only gave understanding to the few of his disciples. That means the majority of people we try to give this gospel to is on the wayside. Is on the wayside. And I want you to keep that in note, because we're going to get into outreach in a little bit today, right? So let's keep going. Give me 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Starting at verse 7. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, the mystery of sin. Only he who will let until he be taken out of the way. The people that's just living in sin, don't even worry about it. There's another scripture in Revelation that says, he that isn't righteous, you just stay on righteous sin. Stay on righteous still. When persecution pops off, there's going to come a time where the saints of the Most High will close the ark. Every congregation, it will be persecution will pop off. The stuff in Revelation will pop off. And just like he told Noah, get in the ark, and once he shut that door, the rain come, there's going to come a time where all these groups scattered across the whole world, different congregations out there, will be time to shut the ark, to get in the ark, and they got to make it 3.5, 7 years, because Bible prophecy is popping, and the wicked one is on the scene, and the mark of the beast is pushing, the vials are being poured out, the plagues are being poured out, the trumpets are being blown, and it says man shall be a man, man shall devour one another and fight one another over limited resources. There's going to come a time where we got to shut that ark. And in like manner, it says, he that letteth is let it. And these people, at the very end, when they see like the first trumpet, or they see some of this stuff that, oh, my grandma told me about that in the Bible. These people on the wayside, well, oh, you know what? My dad told me about that. Or my dad always been telling me I need to repent, or this and that. Then they're going to want to come and get right with the Most High. But by then it's too late. Because it says right here, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. For the mystery of iniquity or sin doth already work. Only he that now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Don't even worry about it. In Revelation said, don't even worry. You on the wayside. Don't try to get right. Don't try to be on good ground once you see Bible prophecy being fulfilled. It says, the day you hear the Almighty's voice, harden not your heart. The day to get right with the Almighty is today. It was 10 years ago. Don't wait until Bible prophecy pops out. Then, Teacher Simon, hey, I was thinking, man, I want it. No. When he says closed door, these people without congregations, without watchmen, without accountability, they're going to be done. Let's keep going. All right. And then shall the wicked be revealed, right? And whom the Almighty shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy the brightness of his coming. See, he's talking about there's going to come a time where you're going to play around and be on the wayside, and then you want to go straight to good ground. And it's going to be like, you're going to get taken out of the way. Don't worry, it's too late, right? Let's keep going. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan without power, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Check this out. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. Why is that? Why do they perish? Because they receive not a love for the truth, that they might be saved. This is why they're going to perish. These people on the wayside are going to be destroyed because truth came to them. And they said, man, I got money. What does it profit me for to be the Almighty? Oh, there's plenty of religions out there. Prove to me that there's a God. And if God, then why is there murder and rape? And they'll use all these excuses. But then when push comes to shove and Bible prophecies start pushing around, they're going to be deceived. They're going to believe the Antichrist. Or they're going to believe these lying wonders. Or they're going to believe the aliens came down and they say they created us. And then they made our DNA with monkeys and whatnot and stuff like that. I'll deal with this in a little bit. And they're going to deceive all these people to where they believe these lies because they didn't want to have a love for the truth. Even if there's all these religions, let's just think about it. People that's watching me, right? There's Baptist, Jehovah's Witness, Catholic, Lutheran, Protestant, Episcopalian, Apostolic, Pentecostal, Baptist, Latter-day Saint, whatever, right? Mennonite, whatever, cocaine, incest having Mennonites, whatever they do, right? There's all this stuff, right? And you don't know which one or who's in truth, but they all use the Bible. So if you really have a love for the truth, why don't you just start off by reading the Bible? And you'll say, oh man, we're not supposed to be drinking. Oh, let me not get drunk. Oh, we're not supposed to be fornicating. Let me not do it. We're not supposed to be doing it. And start repenting. And if you're honest, he'll send you someone. He'll send you truth. He'll send a minister your way, right? Let's keep going. Now, with all deceivableness with them that perish because they have not a love for the truth. Let's get into this. This is these people that will deceive these people on the wayside. All Big Bang Theory. There was 2 non-living molecules with the spark of electricity and it created life. Oh no, the Big Bang Theory is the bang in the universe expanded out. But even that Big Bang Theory, right? Because it's not proven. I got to prove to you that there's God, but you can live off of a theory. I got to prove to you that God exists, and you need proof, but you could believe what these false scientists and what's taught in high school of a Big Bang Theory, right? Which is still faith. You have faith in Big Bang, I have faith in a creator. You still have faith, because that's not proven, and I can't prove to you that there's an Almighty, right? So either way, it's faith-based. You just choose man's made-up doctrine of the Big Bang, which they can't even explain how stars come inwards. If you said there was a Big Bang and expanded out the universe, and the universe is continuously expanding, then why can't scientists explain why asteroids are going all different ways? Oh, it's Big Bang, and this is why all the planets rotate this way, and then you can't explain why other planets rotate the complete opposite way. How you really believe that with our technology they could carbon date a bone and say, oh, this bone was 45 million years ago? Really? How many times have scientists says, yeah, this isopod or whatnot, like this, there's this one with the long tail, look like a weird cockroach. Look like a sperm almost, right? This is an undersea creature with shells, like a roly-poly, but underwater, kind of look like that with a long tail, right? They're like, oh yeah, it was 35 million years ago, and it was extinct, and then they find one. You know how many times they said that an animal was extinct, and it was like 65 million years ago or 10 million years ago in the iso or dinosaur age, and then later on down the road, some fisherman catches one that they said was, how you going to be off 10 million years? But they believe in this theory, right? Let's keep going. Evolution. Oh, we're a single-celled animal, and then we came from the ocean, and then after that, we came from monkeys, and then monkeys turned to humans, and blah, blah, blah. If you want to believe that, there's so many plot holes in their so-called science with evolution. How do you explain the giants? Why don't we have the in-between birds? Why don't we have why don't you see? Why has none of the monkeys and gorillas and chimpanzees now got to the middle and the in-between stage between us and the monkeys? Where's the skeletons of the in-between? Why can't we find one? It's weird how that works out, right? We have huge 9-foot tall skeletons of humans, so where were the 9-foot tall and 10-foot tall monkeys at then? If we came from monkeys? Like, there's so many holes with that, but they believe this theory, evolution theory, Big Bang theory. So you have faith. It says, with all deceivableness, they will perish because they receive not a love for the truth, that they might be saved. So if you do not believe the truth, I'll deal with this in a little bit. So I have faith in the Creator, and you got faith in Big Bang theory. You got faith in evolution theory. They say itself it's a theory. The theory is an educated guess. They say with all the evidence might point to this. We can't confirm this, but the evidence could point to this direction. That's why we have this theory. And I have theories. I think the dinosaurs died out with the flood. I think the pyramids were made pre-flood. That's my theory. People say, no, it wasn't because of water damage. I think that technology was pre-flood when they were messing around with the angels. But I say that's a theory. All evidence point to that, because why you have that technology and you just... Where did the Aztec, the people that made the pyramids and the Sphinx and these huge monoliths that we don't even have a crane and the technology to lift these things in the world, where did these people go? How did this technology just disappear? Just imagine right now if the earth got flooded out, right? Killed every single person but 8 people on this planet right now, right? All 7 billion people, right? Then after the flood stopped, there's only 8 people left. Do you know how long it would take for these 8 people to create a vehicle? After years and years and years, like, man, how did that car get here? Or how did that excavator? Man, we're not at that level of technology yet. It could be 1,000 years later. They're not going to know how to make a car. I'm saying if there's only a few pyramids, right? If there's millions of cars on the street, I'm pretty sure the 8 people will be like, oh, that's a car or whatnot, right? So bear with me. Say if there was only like 8 cars on the planet or something like that, right? So they will not know how to do that. How did that huge 7-story building there? If all of us got stuck on an island, do you think we could make a 10-story building? We'll start our own ironsmiths doing this manufacturing and make a 10-story building, have concrete, mason, glass, all this. No, it'll take years to get to that technology again. So how did all that technology of the pyramids and all that stuff get wiped out? Now, like I said, that's a theory. I feel the evidence points to all that stuff was pre-flood. Hey, I could be wrong though, right? But I'm not having you believe that it's truth. And they teach evolution and Big Bang as truth. And people will not believe this truth to believe their lies. So now we came from monkeys, and they try to cross the DNA, and then they miss the other DNA that was so far off. They're like, look, we have 70 or 90% of our stuff match, and then they cut out the rest of the recipe of the DNA out and to try to say, yeah, we came from monkeys. And anything that has you to not believe in the Creator, they're going to push that agenda. Because they want to get you, Satan wants to get you away from giving glory to the Creator, away from obeying His commandments, away from seeking Him. So they tell you as many lies as they can. To them that perish, because they have not a love for the truth. Satan will give you all these lies. So, our next thing, they're saying, the next thing is kind of news a little bit. Oh, the aliens, we're declassifying aliens, and the aliens came and said that they created us because they needed to take our gold from the earth, and the aliens been here for 1,000 years, and they made humans, and they made our DNA with monkeys, and that's why we came from monkeys. And so now they're going to have you believing in aliens, and aliens created us, and not the Almighty. And some of these aliens are Nephilim. Some of these aliens are real. They're not from outer space. They came from here, underground, under the ocean. They always been here. The Nephilim always been here. The fallen angels always been here. They're not from no other planet. Maybe these spaceships are correct. Yeah, they have technology that didn't have, just like the technology they had to make the pyramids and the monoliths. They got these huge monoliths that we can't even lift, and they're high in the air. How did you erect this huge monolith? And then where they got the quarry from will be 16 miles away, where they quarried out the monolith, and then they brought it to this location. They have huge pillars and tunnels of almost like fortresses in mountains with columns and pictures of animals and stuff. Huge doorways carved into the mountain, like an underground city. We don't even got that technology to do that stuff. Maybe we could go like the Boring Company, do tunnels, but how they did that with the stone like that and with the art like that, hey, I believe it's pre-flood, right? But that's theory. So I believe these people came from underground. Back to the aliens. The aliens always been here. There is no outer space. I'm not saying there's no outer space. There is no, we came from planet Nibiru, and they want you to believe everything so you don't believe in the Most High. Let's keep going. Now, give me Acts chapter 13. We almost done because I got to get into some news. Acts chapter 13. Starting at verse 40. Acts 13, verse 40. It says, "Beware, therefore, lest come upon you which was spoken in the prophets." What prophets? It says, "Behold, you despisers, you wonder and you perish. For I work a work in your days, a work which you shall in no wise believe, though a man declare it unto you." It says, don't be like these people. Don't be on the wayside. You despise, you wonder, and you perish. Because I work a work in the day and a work which you're not going to believe. You're on the wayside. And because you're on the wayside, you will perish. These people will perish. And remember, the multitude came to him, and he hid it from the multitude and only gave to the few. Because the multitude of people are on the wayside. Let's keep going. Go ahead and give me Matthew chapter 10, verse 1. And when he called his disciples, this is Matthew 10, verse 1, and when he called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast out and heal all manners of sickness and all manners of disease. Now the name of the 12 of these were, the first was Simon, who was called Peter, and Andrew his brother, and James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip, and Bartholomew, and Thomas, and Matthew the publican, James the son of Alphaeus, Lebbaeus, whose surname was Theudas, Simon the Canaanite, and Judas the Iscariot, who also betrayed him. These 12 Yeshua sent forth and commanded them, saying, "Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into the city of Samaria enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, preach unto them the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the leper, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely you have received, freely give. Provide neither gold, nor silver, nor brass, nor in your purses, nor scrip in your journeys, neither 2 coats, nor shoes, nor yet staves, for the workman is worthy of his hire. And then so whatsoever city or town you shall enter, inquire in it was worthy, and there abide till you go thence. And when you come into the city, salute it. And if there be a house worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it not worthy, let your peace return. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when you depart out of the city, shake off the dust of your feet. For verily I say unto you, it should be more tolerable for in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah than in the day of judgment than for them. So that tells you right away that these apostles had power to cast out devils, raise people from the dead, heal sickness and diseases, and preach. And there will still be people that would not receive them. Just think about it. I don't do none of that. These people were healing sickness and diseases, casting out demons, and bringing people from the dead. And he still said there's going to be people that ain't going to receive you. Just think about that. Cast out the dust of your feet. There will still be people that still not receive what you're talking about. These people on the wayside are so set into doing sin and not repenting, it doesn't matter what you do. They're still not going to receive you. Let's keep going. Last scripture. Give me Matthew chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22. Verse 14. Matthew 22 verse 14. It says, many are called, but few are chosen. Why is that? Why is that? It's windy today. Because many are on the wayside. Many are called. The calling goes out. Few are chosen. Few's going to get out of the wayside, get out of the rocky ground, get out of the thorny ground, and land on good ground. Few of them. And so bringing that with us outreaching, words of encouragement, don't get discouraged when people don't receive what you're saying. They didn't even receive Mashiach. Some of them came for the fishes and the loaves. Where was those people trying to stand up and when the Pharisees were saying crucify him? Where were all those thousands of people he fed? They didn't receive. He says if they called him a devil. This dude do nothing but do good for 3+ years, and they called him a devil. You cast out devils by the prince of devils. So remember, let's say, use an analogy, you outreach or hand out 100 cards and invite 100 people to Zooms. 90% of them is not going to want to receive it. Out of those 90%, probably 3 of them are going to be on the rocky ground. And 4 of them are probably going to be on the thorny ground. And maybe 3 of them will be honest and really produce fruit. So out of 100 times, you might get 3. Many are called and few are chosen. So we just got to keep going, because we never know who's going to repent, and someone may be on the rocky ground right now and not receive it, but it takes the right situation, then to bump their heads, and 3 years down the road, they might say, you know what, I do now, I want to give my life to the Most High. So, we're going to get into the news in a little bit. Let's get into the news right now, actually. Now, I haven't done news in a while. The United Nations is trying to do, they're agreeing, the United Nations is trying to do a digital ID linked to your bank account. So they're trying to do, every person on the planet has an ID, your DMV, whatever ID you get to get your driver's license, or to have identification to get a job, is linked to your bank account already. Linked to your passport, linked to all this, right? Let me see if I can pull up the news real quick. Oh, I could read it verbatim. Alright, we got this one. Okay. A comprehensive new policy agenda for the United Nations Security General, something I can't pronounce her name, Antonio Guterres, detail identification network designed to digitize and streamline the process of verifying people's identities on a global scale. Let's keep going. Digital IDs with bank or mobile money accounts can improve the delivery and social protection coverage to serve better reach eligible beneficiaries. So they're rocking this. They are trying to rock this digital ID. And this is the step into eventually a microchip in your hand. Trust me. This is the step to say, are you vaccinated? You can't leave the country. They're trying to do a global ID. Let's keep going. Now with this, they're doing a UBI, Universal Basic Income, right? So, in the UK, wait up, let's see the Universal Basic Income one, right? Okay, so now they're doing, in the UK, parts of the UK, I think they're taking 30 people doing a Universal Basic Income. What they're doing is they're trying to make it to do a test run. They're test running where they just give people monthly money, kind of like they did the stimulus, but it'll be like this permanent Universal Basic Income. And I'm going to show you how this is not good, because now you're trying to make everyone dependent on the government for all your substance, your food, your water, your electricity, your housing, everything, right? So they're doing this with people already, right? The wealth, now who does this help? The wealth of those of the top 1% growing exponentially between 1995 and 2021 is accounted for 38% of the increase of the global wealth. So the 1% had 38%. Check this out. While the bottom 50%, the people that are average or below average, only make up 2% of the worldwide wealth. Check this out. Digital technologies will accelerate the concentration of economic power. Even the smaller groups of the elite companies combined the wealth of the technology billionaires $2 trillion in 2022. So they're going to do the UBI, and it's going to improve everyone's the elite's wealth. But how are they going to do this, right? AI is coming on the scene, and it's all tying in. So we have global ID. They're going to do a universal income, where they'll just pay all these people basic money every time. You got to depend on the government. The government gives you your monthly check, right? They're doing this test run. They're going to start running this in all these cities, right? And let me guess, what do you got to do to qualify for this? When Hurricane Katrina came and these people wanted to get help and resources, they had to take a shot. It was a couple of years ago. They had to take a shot from the government. For FEMA came in and said, you need to take these vaccinations for us to give this. So imagine you're poor and you don't know how to feed your kids, and they have a program called UBI, Universal Basic Income, and you could be on this for the rest of your life, or be on Section 8 or be EBT or some welfare assistance program for the rest of your life. But I wonder what's the requirements to receive that for you and your kids. Just think about it. Oh, you need to take this. You need to do this. You need to say this. You can't do this, right? Just think about it. AI comes on the scene. Let's deal with AI now. Oh, I'll still stick with the basic income right here. Spoke to the UN News, stated explaining the idea of universal basic income, where governments give a minimal sum of money to all citizens based on work status or income, starting to gain traction. So the UN is trying to do this UBI. Remember, this, even though the UK started, the digital global ID is to bring everyone under one control. One ID for the whole world. To know about every person on this planet. Universal basic income for the whole world. So then it's centralizing power. So everyone gives this power to this one ID. Everyone gives this power to this one basic income. It's centralizing power, right? Let's keep going. And no more your country does this, your country does that, your country does this. No. Let's keep going. All right, a group of people will be given monthly payments that isn't means or tested or tried to work, which research exploring differences to make their lives. 30 people in England will be given $16 a month, no strings attached, in the country's first trial of universal basic income. Now, let's go into the AI. AI is going to be taking a whole bunch of jobs right now. The consensus among many experts in the number that professions will be total automated in the next 5 to 10 years. A group of senior level tech executives who comprises of Forbes Technology Council named 15 insurance underwriting, warehouse, manufacturer job, customer service, research, data entry, long haul trucking, like self-driving trucks, and somewhat disconcerting broad category title, any task that can be learned. They got AI, the Snapchat and whatnot, for the new night vision goggles that will, and when you link it up with your laser and with the glasses, it tells you where to shoot the person. You just line the laser up, where AI helps them out with these goggles to be better soldiers. To know the stuff AI is doing. Let's keep going though. According to the World Economic Forum, the Future of Jobs Report 2020, AI is expected to replace 85 million jobs worldwide by 2025. That sounds scary. The report goes on to say that it will also create 97 million new jobs in the same time frame. New jobs with AI, but not for people. These new jobs aren't going to be for people. They're going to be for AI. You know, did Amazon taken out all these mom and pop shops, but Amazon created new jobs. So the amount of new jobs working in the assembly line and the packaging and driving the trucks in Amazon does not equate to all the jobs Amazon took out of these mom and pop shops. No, Amazon didn't replace the job for job. No, not even close. Not even half the jobs that Amazon and Walmart wiped out with online and eBay and whatnot replaced all the mom and pop shops that got taken out through Amazon, through these big people. So now you have this problem where you have millions of people that are jobless. How are we going to provide for them? Oh, we got UBI, Universal Basic Income. Kind of weird how that plays in right on time, right? We got they want AI to take your jobs, because if they take your jobs, then they can control your money, because they could give you your monthly check. This is why for you to be a servant of Almighty, you have to be a prepper. You should be working to self-sufficient. You should not be dependent on the government for not your food, not your water, not your research, not nothing. You should be on your own, right? Or working towards that. So, AI comes, more people lose their jobs. They start, and you notice on Google, they always talk, see if you qualify for this stimulus. See if you, they always keep that stimulus, shoot out that stimulus. And people, oh, maybe I get $400 a month, or I could get this one stimulus check. And they got these people dependent on these stimulus, and they did their test run during this pandemic situation, right? And see how people did and what people bought and this and that with their stimulus. And okay, so now we know when we roll out the UBI, because there's going to be people with jobs and the economy's collapsing, there's no jobs and whatnot. Oh, just roll out universal basic income. But guess what happened to Canada? Canada, I'll read about Canada. We know when they were doing they chose not to get the hokey pokeys in their shoulder, right? So, let me read this other article about AI. So Sinovation Ventures wrote in 2018, said that 50% of all jobs will be automated by AI in 15 years. So in 15 years, 50%, you're talking about, they're trying to have it to where they're lawyers, to where you go to court and this person goes to court, and because AI and Snapchat has the information of all the laws, you state your cause and give your evidence, and they state your cause, and AI will determine who's guilty and whatnot, because AI knows all the laws. And so they'll come on the scene and says, you're guilty, you need to pay restitution, this and this and this, based upon this case law. They're gonna make everything automated with artificial intelligence. You ask these questions, they write essays. There's people cheating because they're using Snapchat or Chat GPT to write a book report. And then they'll write a book report, perfect grammar and everything, and they just turn it into the professor. Snapchat wrote the whole report. Give me a book report on this and this, and add this and this and this and this. This one guy said, tell me how AI and a microchip lines up with Bible prophecy. This guy asked Snapchat that, and AI made a sermon. He said, give me a sermon about the book of Revelations and artificial intelligence. And it talked about how the microchip and how it's going to make people intelligent. And it made a whole report how AI and how microchips lines up with the book of Revelations. And he did that just with Snap GPT. And it just made a full-on sermon, like teaching a sermon like a pastor. The AI is going to replace a whole bunch of jobs. And then they're going to get on this universal basic income. And then you're stuck. Because in Canada, they protested because they didn't want to get the hokey pokeys in their shoulders. And so Canada froze these people's bank accounts. With no need of court orders, banks freeze these people's account. Anyone who wanted to do their, GoFundMe account, because the truckers that were protesting, they needed money because their accounts got froze. People were sending a GoFundMe. They went after the GoFundMe account. They went after their crypto exchange. They went after the exchanges so they couldn't sell crypto to make money. They went after their exchanges, the Troduki, whatever, right? He froze these accounts. Now imagine your ID is connected to your bank account. It's connected to your vaccination records. It's connected to your passport. It's connected, and that's connected to probably your Facebook, your Twitter. It's all going to be, everything about you is linked into one card or one chip, or right? One ID, right? And you want to protest. These people protest. Counts froze. And since they're getting rid of cash, how would you buy food? If they're getting rid of cash, how would you buy food if they freeze your bank account? Because everything's connected. They got a camera with AI. AI is so good that they don't even need facial recognition. They could tell by how you walk. They could tell by how you walk now and how your foot posture is, who you are, without the face. Just by your walking posture. Oh, that is so-and-so. Oh, so-and-so is out here protesting? Account froze. Just by a camera. Camera hits up to the AI. AI freezes the account same day. Probably 15 minutes later, they see you, you're protesting. Next thing you know, man, my bank account. You get this email. Your bank account has been frozen until further notice. You just only been on the streets trying to protest 15 minutes. Bam, done. Just done. They're going to make sure they have full control over people's life. It's going down. So, this is why some of you guys need a congregation, because you guys be like, oh, you know, I do my own thing, this and this and this. When stuff pops off, check this out. What happens to the sheep that is by itself? The lion, the wolf, and the bear picks it off. Oh, I'm a lone wolf. Did you know the lone wolf starves? The wolves that roll in packs live. The lone wolf starves. Think about it. Why do wolves roll in packs? Oh, I'm a lone wolf. Yeah, you're going to starve in the time of winter. Wolves roll in packs for a reason. When they need a corner or something, when they need to defend themselves from a bear, wolves roll in packs for a reason. The lone wolf starves and the lone sheep is killed. That whole I don't need a congregation thing, okay, that's fine. I hope you're fully furnished and ready to go 7 years. And guess what? A lot of these people, especially these all these dudes, you'll see dudes with their wife and kids. Oh, I don't need no congregation, this and this. All right. So what happens when you get an affected wound? Or what happens when you're going to go get some sheep or food and you get picked off? Now your wife and your kids is by itself. You were just thinking you're going to go through persecution and Bible prophecy and you're going to stay alive. Now the Bible clearly says, it says a lot of us that serve the Almighty will be killed for his name's sake. So then now who's going to take care of your wife and kids because you don't have no congregation? Who's going to defend your wife and kids? Because you're the lone wolf, right? That's why it's like the scripture we just read. Him that letteth will let until you get taken out of the way. At some point, if they're not smart enough to say, hey, the Bible clearly shows he has watchmen, he has order, ministers, apostles, prophet, evangelist, teacher, whatnot, and I'm going to do my own thing. When persecution comes, you're going to get taken out of the way. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. So, hopefully we're not on the wayside. Let us all be on good ground. I love you guys. I want you guys to make it and be saved. With all that said and being done, keep standing. Don't drop standards. Give the Almighty a hand clap. Shalom.